Salam Alaikum parents. This presentation is going to be on how I am going to do my best to keep you as informed as possible. So welcome to grade 6, respected parents. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Mr. Michael, and I will be teaching your son both ELA and social studies. So my intention this year is to keep you as informed as possible on your child's academic progress, behavior, and importantly, his work habits. So I will be sending you frequent emails on various subjects. The point of these emails are to keep you informed and to make sure your child is accountable to ensure he is succeeding to his full abilities. They are not meant to shame you or your child. I simply want the best for my students, and I of course need your help. So the following slides are examples of the emails you may receive from me during the year. If you have any questions, please do ask. So behavior management and work habits. So as a teacher at Hubs, I can confidently say that students who are not meeting their full potential are usually those that do not complete their work, are very distracted in class, and do not come to school well prepared. So that means they typically forget their textbook, their notebook, or a pencil, or all three. If your child is having any of these issues in my class, I will be emailing you as a means to gain your support, so we can work together to ensure that your son is meeting his academic potential. My intention this year is for all of my students to not only pass ELA, but to improve significantly. And to do that, we need to work as a team. So if you do not receive any of these emails from me, then this is a good sign that your child is behaving in class, comes prepared to learn, and is trying his best. So this is the example email. So I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'm going to highlight a few things. So these are the behavior or work habit issues. So here it could say, forgot to take his notebook to class. Fighting with another student, not listening to the teacher, not doing his classwork. Again, these are not meant to be punitive. I am not doing this as a means of shame. I am only doing this as a means to get your son on board with learning so we can succeed this year. Now, if you get frequent emails from me, I believe that there needs to be some punishment at home in order to kind of make your son realize he needs to behave at school. Some advice, you know best, you are the parent of course, but I would say removal of electronic devices like PlayStations, phones and such is a very effective means to getting your son to behave. Not allowing the student to go on special trips during the weekend, and then maybe even all you need to do is have a stern conversation with your son about respecting his school, class, and teacher. If you don't receive any of these emails from me, mashallah, your son is likely doing his best. But if you do receive these emails, I would be very appreciative if you do take them serious, because my intention is to only help your son improve. And if he is improving, I will do my best to make sure that he not only passes ELA, but he does well in ELA. You will also receive any outstanding homework emails. You'll also get this for social studies classwork, because it's very important and it's worth 20% of his grade. But I am very, very, very confident. If your son is doing his homework, especially if he's doing it by himself, if he does have a tutor that is helping him, please make sure the tutor is helping him and not doing his homework for him, because that does not help your son at all and is a waste of your money. So if your son misses a homework assignment, he is given an opportunity to complete it even after the due date. I would prefer he finishes it on time, but I am not going to penalize my students if they had something to do over the weekend, you were busy. So inshallah, I want them to complete the homework assignments as soon as possible. Because the longer they wait, the more homework will build up. And then at the end of term, when they're trying to do it all at once, they're going to be saying, To you, oh, Mr. Michael gives me so much homework. I cannot finish all of this. Well, if he finished it every week, he would not have lots of homework. I tried to make my homework meaningful and very closely related to the material we are covering in class. So it is really essential he completes these assignments. So this is an example of an email you will get from me. This is the missing assignment. You just have to click on that link, look for the name of the assignment. It'll bring up a YouTube video, and your son just completes the quiz. Khalas, finished. No problems. Mafi mushkilas. Literacy Pro Minutes. This year, I'm going to have an extremely strong focus on reading for meaning. I will be explaining what this means to your son, but what it really means is I don't want him just reading. I want him to be looking up words and being very careful about how he is reading. So every week you will get one of these emails from me. If your son is over 75, you'll get one email. And if he is under 75, you'll get another. So reading is fundamental in the success of any English language learner. This is why the school has mandated 75 minutes. Me, as a teacher, I think this is way too little. Especially if your son is struggling with English, he needs to be reading more. 75 minutes per week of reading on Literacy Pro. I suggest the students read as much as possible. Every week I will email you the number of minutes your son read on Literacy Pro. It is my hope that you will encourage your child to read as much as possible. As the angel Jibreel alayhi salam said to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, read. We need to read. It is fundamental and extremely important. So that is the number of minutes your son read. So your son will also get an email on the number of minutes he has read. Sometimes, or no, all the time, if he reads over 75, he will be a weekly reading champion. He will get knowledge points, and I will do my best to motivate my students with congratulatory emails to both you and to them. So parents are always asking how they can help their children. This year, I am going to be sending you the 5 vocabulary words your child has chosen for the week, i.e. the 5 vocabulary sketches he has done. Words can't be learnt in isolation. They need to be practiced frequently. My hope is that you will try and enforce these words at home. Try to use them. Ask your nanny to use them with your son. Have the driver, have their cousins, have your other children use these words. Just try to bring a little bit of English into your home. Because the problem is, you can't just learn a word once and for some reason it'll stick into your head. You need to hear it multiple times in many different types of sentences. So here is what the email is going to look like. These are the words your son has chosen for the week. So another thing you can do, which I would strongly advise you to try, is you can buy a whiteboard, a fairly large whiteboard, put it up somewhere in your home, and every week write these words on the whiteboard. And if a guest comes to your home, maybe a cousin or an uncle or somebody who has an interest in English, get your son to explain these words to them. Have them use it frequently. It would look something like this. So you buy a whiteboard, you label it by week, and really, if you organize the board by week, then by the end of the year, your son will have 200 new words on that board. 200 words that he did not know at the beginning of the year, and he now knows. This is extremely important. Inshallah, if you can do it, please try to do it. You don't have to put it up somewhere like in your majlis or something. You can put it in a hallway somewhere, in front of his room, in the wall, but somewhere where there is some traffic and your son can explain these words. So that is all. If you have any questions, I am very quick to respond to parents. Please contact me. I want to make sure that the parents watch this video, so I'm going to ask your son to ask you a question, inshallah, and I'm just going to tell them to say, Mr. Michael asked, who are we? And yes, I'm sorry, it's very corny, but we are Hubs. So just, if you can, please respond, we are Hubs. I thank you again for any support you can provide this year. Inshallah, We are going to have a great year. Your son is going to learn a lot.